the founder, Rise Networks and Rise Interactive Studios, Dr. Toyosi Akerele Ogunshiji. You are welcome to the high table. Please let's keep applauding her as she steps.
commitment to the School of Computing and this conference and in the advancement of knowledge. We appreciate our Dean, Professor Aleshe, all conference committee members, all conference committee members and the annual lecture committee, you are all appreciated. All our reviewers and session chairs, we appreciate you all. Our distinguished speakers, we appreciate you. Staff and students of School of Computing, you are wonderful. I want to use this opportunity to thank everybody, even if I have not mentioned the group you belong. Thank you so much and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Conference Chair. Before I invite the Dean for his welcome address, let me quickly recognize and welcome the Sub-Dean, School of Computing, Dr. Samuel Olotu. You are welcome. I would like to recognize and welcome former Deputy Vice Chancellor Development FUTA, Professor Tolulope Akinbogun. You are welcome, sir. Please, sir, can you move to the front seat, sir? At this point, I would like to invite the Dean, School of Computing, Professor Boniface Kayode Aleshe, for his welcome address.
The Vice Chancellor, other principal officers present, members of the Governing Council of the University, our distinguished guest lecturer, Dr. Toyosi Akerele Ogushiji, our esteemed keynote speakers, members of the University Senate, all invited guests. Let me especially recognize the deans and our former Deputy Vice Chancellor of Development, Professor Tolulope Akinbogun, members of the academic community, sponsors and partners for this lecture and conference, colleagues, most especially from the School of Computing, the local organizing committee, students, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is my honor and immense pleasure, on behalf of staff and students of School of Computing, Federal University of Technology, Akure, to warmly welcome you to our second annual lecture and first international conference on emerging computing applications and technologies. This occasion marks another significant milestone in the history of our school. While our annual lecture has become an important platform for stimulating, thought-provoking discussions on contemporary issues in computing and digital technology, today's event particularly is historic because it also inaugurates our first international conference, bringing together scholars, researchers, industry experts, innovators, policymakers, entrepreneurs, and students from parts of the world to exchange ideas and present cutting-edge research and explore practical solutions to global challenges. The theme of the conference, Digital Solutions to 21st Century Challenges, could not be more timely. We live in an era characterized by rapid technological advancement, unprecedented connectivity, and complex societal challenges. Artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, cloud computing, data science, quantum computing, robotics, blockchain, the Internet of Things, and intelligent automation, which are fundamentally transforming how we live, learn, govern, produce, and interact. These technologies are reshaping economies, redefining industries, and creating opportunities that were unimaginable only a decade ago. At the same time, the present significant challenges relating to cybersecurity, digital ethics, privacy, workforce readiness, misinformation, and equitable access to technology, Universities, therefore, have critical responsibility not only to generate knowledge, but also to prepare students who can innovate responsibly, solve real-world problems, and contribute meaningfully to sustainable development. Our annual lecture topic, from artificial intelligence consumers to creators, preparing African universities for global intelligence economy through computing education, research, and industry collaboration, speak directly to this responsibility. Africa cannot afford to remain merely a consumer of artificial intelligence technology developed elsewhere. We must become creators, innovators, researchers, entrepreneurs, and global contributors to the rapidly evolving intelligence community. Achieving this vision requires a deliberate transformation of our educational system. Our curricula must remain dynamic and future-oriented. Our research must address societal and industrial challenges. Our students must acquire not only technical competence, but also creativity, critical thinking, entrepreneurial skills, ethical awareness, and the ability to collaborate across disciplines. Strong partnership between universities, industry, government, and international organizations are indispensable if Africa is to develop globally competitive digital talent and homegrown technology solutions. At the School of Computing, FUTA, we remain steadfast in our commitment to excellence in teaching, impactful research, innovation, community engagement, and industry collaboration. We are continually strengthening our academic programs, expanding our research frontiers, embracing emerging technologies, and fostering partnerships that enhance the quality and relevance of computing education. The inauguration of ECA reflects our vision of establishing globally recognized platforms for intellectual exchange, collaborative research, technological innovation, and policy dialogue. We emphasize that this conference growing into African leading forum for advancing knowledge in emerging computing applications and technology. Our sincere appreciation goes to our distinguished guest speaker and keynote speakers for honoring our invitation. Your presence enriches this event immensely. We are confident that your insight will inspire meaningful conversation and practical solutions that will shape the future of computing education and digital transformation. I have also expressed our heartfelt gratitude to the Madam Vice Chancellor, the Governing Council, and the University Management Senate, our development partners, sponsors, and members of the local organizing committee, scientific committee, reviewers, volunteers, and staff whose dedication and hard work have led to inspire your volunteers whose dedication and hard work have made this event possible. To our researchers and presenters, I encourage you to engage in fruitful discussion, build enduring collaborations, and share innovative ideas that will contribute to solving complex challenges confronting our societies. Let this conference serve not merely as an academic gathering, but as a catalyst for innovation, entrepreneurship, policy development, and sustainable technological development. To our students, this conference offers a unique opportunity to interact with accomplished scholars, technology leaders, and innovators. Take advantage of every session, ask thoughtful questions, establish professional network, and allow experience to inspire your academic and professional aspirations. As we commence this historical event, let us remain committed to developing digital solutions that improve lives, strengthen institutions, drive economic growth, promote social inclusion, and position Africa as a leading contributor to the global digital economy. It is my sincere hope that our participants will leave this conference with new knowledge, stronger collaboration, renewed inspiration, and practical ideas of transforming our institutions, industries, and communities. Our annual lecture topic, from artificial intelligence to consumers to creators, preparing African universities for global intelligence economy through computing research, education research, and industry collaboration, is both timely and visionary. We are especially honored to have Dr. Toyosi Akerele Ogunsiji, founder of Rice Network and Rice Interactive Studio, as our distinguished guest lecturer. Dr. Toyosi Akerele Ogunsuji is an internationally acclaimed education reformer, artificial intelligence advocate, social entrepreneur, and policy expert whose pioneering work has transformed education, youth development, innovation, and digital skills development across Africa. Through her visionary leadership and unwavering commitment to advancing artificial intelligence awareness, digital inclusion, and human capital development, she has inspired a new generation of innovators and technology leaders. Her remarkable achievements continue to demonstrate how technology can be harnessed to address societal challenges and accelerate sustainable development. We are privileged to welcome her to Federal University of Technology, and we eagerly anticipate a wealth of knowledge, insight, inspiration she will share with us through her lecture. We are confident that our presentation will challenge us to rethink the future of computing education, strengthen our resolve to develop indigenous artificial intelligence solutions, and inspire African universities to become global centers of innovation, research, and technological entrepreneurship. One of the insights of today's program is the recognition of distinguished group of innovators, technologists, entrepreneurs, thought leaders, whose remarkable achievements have significantly changed Nigeria and Africa's digital transformation journey. We are particularly proud of Chief Executive Officers being honored today that are proud alumni of Federal University of Technology, Akure. The outstanding establishment across the field of artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, digital technology, edutech, fintech, digital skills development, and information technology stand as powerful testament to the quality of education, innovation, and entrepreneurial spirit nurtured at FUTA. As a school, we celebrate these exceptional alumni not only for their professional excellence, but also their enduring commitment to leveraging technology for national development, youth empowerment, and global impact. They exemplify the ideas of our university excellence, innovation and service, and serve as inspiring role models for our students and next generation African leaders. We congratulate Mr. Joel Ogushola, the Chief Executive Officer, Full-Net Development Technologies, Mr. Shola Muson, Chief Executive Officer and co-founder, FESTI, Mr. Aziz Razak, Chief Executive Officer, Ezagad, and Mr. David Aboluwani, co-founder, Future Academy, on their well-deserved recognition. Your remarkable journeys from the classroom of FUTA to becoming globally respected technology leader reaffirm our conviction that the university remains a cradle of nurturing innovators, entrepreneurs, and transformational leaders who are making significant contributions to the digital economy in Nigeria, Africa, and beyond. We are immensely proud of your achievements and thank you for continue to uphold the values and reputation of Federal University of Technology, Akure. May your accomplishments inspire our students to dream boldly, innovate courageously, and lead with integrity. This addition naturally ties the award to the conference team and emphasizes that the School of Computing is celebrating its own alumni who have become leading technology CEOs, making recognition even more powerful. Certainly, since Dr. Oloruntoba Samuel Ogundele and Dr. Akitoye Akimboluwaji Oluwatola are also distinguished FUTA alumni, being recognized as worthy ambassadors of the School of Computing. They deserve equal mention alongside the technology CEO. Our conference is further enriched by the presence of two eminent scholars, globally respected academics, who have graciously accepted to serve as conference keynote speakers. We are deeply honored to welcome Professor Tiko Iyamu, a renowned scholar, researcher, and thought leader of information systems, digital transformation, and enterprise architecture. Professor Iyamu's extensive contribution to computing research, innovation, and knowledge creation have earned him an international recognition. His work continues to shape scholarly discourse and reform the development of technology-driven solutions to complex organizational societal challenges. We sincerely appreciate your willingness to share your wealth of experience, of knowledge, and global perspective with us. We are equally privileged to welcome Dr. Opeyemi Dele Ajayi, an accomplished academic, a researcher and expert of human-computer interaction, artificial intelligence, and digital education, who is also an alumnus of FUTA. Dr. Dele Ajayi has distinguished himself through impactful research, innovative teaching, and interdisciplinary collaboration that advance the frontiers of computing education and emerging technology. His scholarly contributions continue to inspire excellence among researchers and students across the globe. Once again, I welcome you to the School of Computing second annual lecture and first international conference on emerging computer applications technology. I wish you a memorable lecture, a rewarding conference, fruitful deliberation, and memorable stay in Akure. Thank you. May God bless the Federal University of Technology, Akure. Bless the School of Computing. Bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Bless you all. Thank you.
Another round of applause for the Dean. I would now like to invite our Vice Chancellor, Professor Adenike Temidayo Oladiji, FAS, to declare the conference open. Vice Chancellor Ma.
Thank you. The former Deputy Vice Chancellor Development, Professor Akibogun, a friend of the Dean of the School of Computing and a friend of the School of Computing, is a double friend. But for us, the university is one of our elder statesmen. The Registrar, University Librarian, the Bursar, top government functionaries here present, my Lord Spiritual and Temporal, our distinguished guest lecturer, Dr. Toyosi Akerele Ogunshije, the CEO of Rice Networks, other speakers here on this conference. I especially recognize Dr. Opeyemi Dele Ajayi from Northumbria University in Newcastle, the Dean, School of Computing, Professor Boniface Kayode Alishe, other deans here present, directors, heads of departments, eminent scholars, alumni. I especially recognize Mr. Shola Amuso, the CEO of Vesti company, and I also recognize Dr. Joel Ogunshola, the CEO of Prune Edge, other alumni here present, staff and students of the School of Computing, distinguished participants, friends of the university, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. I am glad to be part of this auspicious occasion, the second annual lecture of the School of Computing and the first international conference also of the School of Computing. The School of Computing is one of the youngest schools in FUTA, but by no means the least in terms of impact. As a matter of fact, it is about the most subscribed of all the schools in the university. It is our fastest growing school and a big subscriber for admission seekers, like I said. It is not surprising in an era dominated by ICT. I thank the Dean School of Computing, Professor Boniface Kayode Alishe, for leadership roles that he has been playing, not only in the school, but in the university at large. Permit me to remind us that Professor Alishe is the chairman, Committee of Deans, and is also a member of the Governing Council. Other staff of the school have also been playing prominent role. For example, the immediate director of the Center for Entrepreneurship is a member of the School of Computing. The chairman of the CBT Center, a must-pass-through center for all students in FUTA, the past chairman, the present chairman, all from the School of Computing. We have our director of TechPeak, also a staff of the School of Computing. We have my dear brother and friend, Mr. Dr. Dr. Deji, who is in charge of our FIRAS. We have so many people from the School of Computing contributing significantly to the advancement of our university. When we talk about grantsmanship, we also have many people from the school that are winning grants. I forgot when I was talking about director to mention my foreman, Professor Akinwumi. I call him foreman because he does the work of 4 people. He's the director of the part-time center. When we talk about grantsmanship, we also have distinguished scholars from the school doing very well. Professor Mrs. Ojoko, Professor Mrs. Boyinbode are winners of international grants. And I know we just also concluded a conference that was facilitated by Professor Mrs. Ojoko. I thank all the staff for all the good work you are doing. We are feeling it at the Central. Thank you very much. It bears noting that the alumni and students of the School of Computing are also prominent among those who have been flying the flag of this university. I just acknowledge persons like Deji, Shola Musa, sorry. There is the Keto, there is the Joel, there is so many of us that are from the school. Recently, FUTA was crowned the #1 AI university in Nigeria. As a result, this is as a result of the exploits of our students from the School of Computing. I want to thank the leadership of School of Computing and all the lecturers and researchers for improving the visibility this event. I pray that the good Lord will reward you all handsomely. I believe this is the first conference and it will not be the last, by God's grace. I welcome with utmost delight our distinguished lecturer. People call him guest lecturer, but I said she is not a guest in our university. Dr. Toyosi Akerele Ogunshiji. I have described her earlier today as a big fish, a golden fish, and a pricey fish. It gladdens my heart, for obvious reasons, that a scholar of my gender would be at the driving seat today. Very rarely we have females serving as our keynote speaker. So when we have them, we have to celebrate them specially. And I'm happy because she is not here because she's a female. She's here because she has the capacity and she has demonstrated it, and that's why she's here. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you will agree with me that we need more of this to happen for the progress of our nation, because women are closer to homes. And if we are deep and forward-looking, our society will be much better for it. Today's lecture is titled From Artificial Intelligence, Consumers to Creators, Preparing African Universities for the Global Intelligence Economy through Computing, Education, Research, and Industry Collaboration. The topic, even to a layman, is deep and broad, and if the discourse is taken with the desired seriousness, it will go a long way in turning our fortune around as a nation. Earlier today in my office, we did say that this is the time for us to drop our old ideas, imbibe new culture, to shape the world that is evolving. And I think the responsibility lies with all of us. Artificial intelligence plays very significant roles in virtually everything that we do in the 21st century. From education to agriculture, banking, sports, entertainment, and many more. I believe those of us that are following the World Cup that is ongoing now, we will also see that how many people are watching the matches. I'm watching. Let's watch now. If you don't watch the matches, you have missed something. But even now, we know that there is technology everywhere. You know, when they are playing and the referee has to go and consult the virtual assistant referee, then you know that football has moved from what it used to be to another level. So it is affecting every sector: sports, entertainment, and many more. AI now shapes everything, and I mean everything. These days you hear people talk about having AI boyfriend and AI girlfriend. We will see where it will take us. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, how do we adjudge if this conference is successful? We say this conference will be successful if we develop and network amongst ourselves, we collaborate, we develop friendship, we share knowledge, and because we have experts from the industry, we also ensure that we use this opportunity to strengthen industry, academia collaboration. I can confirm that we have participants from as far as Bauchi State, as far as Kano State, we have from Osun State, our neighbor, and our closest institution, Jabu, are here. As I speak, I can see my colleagues from FUTA. You know, because we brand ourselves, we can see that we are the ones that we are sitting together. I believe by the end of this conference, we would have mixed together. Let's develop long-lasting friendship and relationship, collaborations to advance humanity. And I look forward to the communique of this conference and how it can also advance our university. It's not good to talk. Talk, they say, is cheap. However, action produces better, advances humanity. I look forward to an enduring takeaways from this august gathering for the benefit of our university, our dear nation Nigeria, and more importantly, for the benefit of humanity. On this note, I declare this event open, and I welcome everyone, and I wish us all a most fulfilling time. Thank you.
You are all here in an
Please, before I go, permit me to recognize and welcome our Baba, grandfather of the School of Computing, Emeritus Professor Falaki. Thank you, sir, for joining us.
Thousands and thousands of applications are coming every year.
Thank you very much, our Vice Chancellor. Once again, we recognize and welcome Emeritus Professor Falaki. You are welcome, Baba. We now take some goodwill messages from our sponsors before we go to the lecture. And the first person I would like to invite, the first goodwill message will come from Vesta. Let's welcome the representative. Please, you are welcome. The CEO, Chief Executive of Vesta.
Thank you very much. Our Vice Chancellor, I'm going to stand on all other existing protocol. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. My name is Olushola Amusan. I'm the co-founder and CEO at Vesti. Vesti is an AI-powered legal framework that helps people who are trying to move to countries around the world. Sometimes in 2019, I moved to the United States, and my co-founder, Abimbola, who is also my younger brother, had moved about 8 months earlier.
And it was incredibly difficult to be able to navigate our newfound reality. That's getting access to services that were important for people who wanted to either be entrepreneurs or who wanted to work. And so we created Vesti to, first of all, be the difference between a crash landing in the United States and a thriving new life. Today, the platform has evolved over the last 5 years to be able to help not just immigrants, but anyone who has global ambitions. And in the age of artificial intelligence, we can now build multiple pathways for people who want to move from anywhere to anywhere. So you might be here today in Akure dreaming about moving to Hong Kong, or starting a new life in Australia, or taking your research to Curacao. You would be able to do that using the Vesti platform. Today I have colleagues outside and around the conference today and tomorrow who would like to interact with researchers who are looking to expand their work around the world. You know, I've heard about several brilliant people and ideas that were, you know, interrupted by the barriers of just getting a visa. There are people who want to present at conferences that are impeded or disrupted by the inability to obtain a visa. So like I was speaking to some researchers earlier today, you shouldn't be a researcher and traveling on a visiting visa. You should find the equivalent researcher's visa for whatever country you're going to, so that you can be classed in a class of your own and your ideas and initiatives are not truncated because you can't go there. And that's precisely what we try to do. The artificial intelligence platforms helps to narrow down the possibilities, the types that you should go for. So you shouldn't be trying to go to France or Finland or Sweden or Denmark or the United States or the United Kingdom and you're on the same line like every other person, suffering bans from, you know, adverse immigration terrains. So part of what we're trying to do is to narrow the program down for researchers and provide the support that is needed for them to be able to do their postdoc, to be able to do whatever it is they are trying to do outside the country, and of course, be able to headquarter all of that knowledge and talent back home to develop the continents. So check us out on wevesti.com, www.wevesti.com. And like I said, my colleagues are outside, they would answer questions, and I'm also here for the 2 days as an alumnus and also a doctoral student at the university. So I'm excited about this and I'm really looking forward to learning more about what you're doing and how we can support you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. The next goodwill message will come from Prunech, and I have the privilege to invite Joel Ogunshola.
Good morning, my Vice Chancellor, Professor Kayode Alishe, members of University Management, and all protocols duly observed. My big sister, Theosi Akirele, as well. And to every student in the hall today, great to see everyone. I'm always excited to be back in university. I graduated from here some 12 years ago from the Department of Mechanical Engineering, but I think that half the people in my set thought I graduated from computer science, courtesy of Professor Alishe's engagement and, you know, how much of time is spent mentoring. So I'm really excited today that friends has come together and that we're able to support. Today I work in Pronedge and we're a technology solutions company. We're here, we're in a couple of other markets, Sierra Leone, Liberia and Gambia, and we've had a couple of FUTA alumni now, you know, intern with us, and I think we have a couple of people as well with us at the moment. I'm always happy to be able to contribute to students' growth and development as well as the university. So feel free to walk up to me after the session if there's anything you think we can collaborate on or any ideas you think we can work around. I'm fully happy to support. Thank you very much. Thanks once again.
The next person I will invite for the next Google message is the representative of Future Academy Africa. Future Academy Africa. Okay, it's not. Exagard. Is that around? Okay. We'll take Rise Networks. That's during the keynote speaker's presentation. At this point, before I invite the keynote speaker to deliver our lecture, we would like to watch a short video on AI by our keynote speaker.
I can change my future.
I can change my future.
My name is Ara Sodengi. My father is a welder and my mother sells akara. So I have no choice but to hustle and actually make it.
See, if we enter this school, our food don't done with that though.
Oh my god, did she just say that make me choices out?
Yes.
Check your spam.
With STEM,
I can change my future.
I can change my future.
My name is Ara Sodengi. My father is a welder and my mother sells akara. So I have no choice but to.
change my future.
I can change my future.
My name is Arasa Dengi. My father is a welder and my mother sells akara. So I have no choice but to hustle and actually make it.
See, if we enter this school, our food don't done with that though.
Oh my god, did she just say that make Miss is out?
Yes.
Check your spam.
You got it.
Is it compulsory to have a laptop?
Don't go to your school again, Zara.
This man will die.
Zara, wait till I do good. Wait till I do good. Wait, he take give you to me, Zara.
You are all here in an experimental learning environment. And I want to say welcome to Make Nation.
Thousands and thousands of applications are coming every year.
I know it's a long shot, but there's nothing you can't do if you are ready to put in the work.
You have ideas that can change the world. You show me that you say you could do it.
So let's even say we want to do this thing now. How are we going to pay?
The only thing we're asking of you is relax and enjoy your presentation. We're ready when you are.
My name is Arasa Dengi. I'm 17 years old, and I am the first of 4 children.
Leave this room. Leave the guests to sleep.
My father is a welder, and my mother sells akara.
Akara.
And I believe that with education and innovation, we can create opportunities.
Artificial intelligence. It is projected to be one of the fastest growing industries in the next decade.
Make I get one daughter, will be like that's your daughter. Make you not help me, they sell markets. You know they shame.
I swear to God, you find like 10 bigs. You didn't want.
Don't get me wrong, see. It's just that people who want to change the world are usually those who are crazy enough to do so. If you want to shake the world, how about you shake your life first?
It's not going to be easy. Get ready, because your lives are about to change.
I said, me come out.
Sarah! You don't be the picking one I know. Sarah, you don't change, Joe.
I won't make we take care of the boys, so they go take care of the family.
The girls who come, we will not get ready to go school.
It is really sad that the world is missing out on our potential.
Woman place. 2 of you must know. Woman place is kitchen.
On AI. Now I would like to invite Dr. Toyosi Akerele Ogunshiji, a guest lecturer for the School of Computing second annual lecture, to please step forward as I take our citation. Okay, all right. Dr. Toyosi Akerele Ogunshiji, founder, Rise Networks and Rise Interactive Studios Africa. Is a distinguished Nigerian artificial intelligence for development professional whose career focuses on AI safety and governance, media innovation, health tech, and public policy. She is the founder and CEO of Rise Networks, a Lagos-based data and AI for development social enterprise, and the founder of Rise Interactive Studios, the production company behind Make Nation, Africa's first feature film on artificial intelligence. A globally recognized thought leader, she has been named by Forbes as one of the 20 most powerful young women in Africa and listed among the top 30 global artificial intelligence ambassadors by Swiss Cognitive. She serves on the UNDP's AI for Development Reference Group and was a member of the AI for Public Interest Working Group of the French government's AI Action Program. Dr. Akerele Ogunshiji holds a Master in Public Administration from Harvard University's John F. Kennedy School of Government, where she was a Mansion Fellow and a PhD in Defense and Strategic Studies from the Nigerian Defense Academy. Her doctoral research focused on the assessment of artificial intelligence on Nigeria's national and economic security in the Fourth Industrial Revolution. She has also studied strategic management at executive level at the University of Cambridge George Business School. Through her leadership at Rise Networks, she has spearheaded pioneering AI-driven initiatives across Africa, including designing and building West Africa's first career job chatbots, recognized by the United Nations AI for Good project, and executing a landmark research project on AI for border governance and security commissioned by the UK Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office. She also represented Nigeria at the 2023 UK AI Safety Summit. Our groundbreaking feature film, Make Machine 2025, which she created and executive produced, became one of Nigeria's highest grossing films, heralding a new era of African cinematic storytelling with AI. I think she deserves a round of applause for this. The film was screened at an exclusive side event at the 80th United Nations General Assembly. A fellow of the Aspen Institute's Global Leadership Network and an alumna of the U.S. government's International Visitor Leadership Program, Dr. Akerele Ogunshiji continues to shape global conversations on the future of technology, security, and sustainable development, positioning Africa as a key player in the global AI landscape. Our Vice Chancellor, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I present Dr. Toyosi Akerele Ogunshiji as she presents the second annual lecture of the School of Computing.
Anybody will pray for your downfall, I ain't go for more money, more blessing, more cash, more big God. Anybody will pray for your downfall, I ain't go for more money, more blessing, more cash, more big God.
was just going to say I'm waiting for you to turn down your music. Thank you very much. Your Excellency of the future, the very first female Vice Chancellor of Your Excellency of the future, because I know things, because I have Expo, I know some things that may not be, the Vice Chancellor of Federal University of Technology. Listen, guys, this is not Futa energy. Give me some vibe, big vibe. Ṣé torí pé wọ́n ní pé kí wọ́n speak lórí AI? Big vibes, big vibes. Come on, guys. I'm tempted to pledge some money for somebody who can beat me in dancing this afternoon. But let's go to the lecture. We can dance after the lecture. Pàdé mi ní bus stop. My name is Toyosi Akerele Ogushiji, Your Excellency, the first female Vice Chancellor of the Federal University of Technology, Akure, the university that all the other universities want to be like. Only after University of Jos that I attended. Principal officers of this great university, the Dean, School of Computing, my mentor, father, uncle, Egbon, godfather, brightest and the best, Professor Kayode Boniface Alege, members of the Senate, distinguished youth programs where young people could really discover and find themselves. It was so big that in 2012, Michelle Obama did a video of me in the White House and described it as the biggest youth program in Nigeria. And Futa happened to be one of the schools that used to host that program every year for 10 years. And that's how I met Professor Kayode Alege. And I'm very happy to announce that, this morning I spoke to Abu Suleiman, the MD of Sterling Bank, just on my way here. We're going to be hosting the first National AI Festival across 12 universities in partnership with Sterling Bank, UNDP, Nestle, and a couple of other brands. And Futa is the university in the southwest of Nigeria. So I'm hoping that we won't be having just another lecture. you will have the opportunity to see AI live in real life. And some of the girls will be able to get into the Girls in Creative Features AI Lab, where I will teach you how to make films on the spot from start to finish, from your scripting to your music production to your cinematography to delivering the final material. Hopefully, some of you will begin to make money from it and can build careers out of it before you leave university. We'll also bring a few investors who are interested in investing in student-led startups. You don't need to graduate before you become the next $1 million company in Nigeria. You can be discovered right here, today, now, tomorrow. You are not the future leaders of Nigeria. You are the present leaders of Nigeria. When I got the invitation from Professor Alishe, I accepted it with very incredible humility, gratitude, and a profound sense of responsibility. Simply because for me, I've been to the best universities in the world. From being Deputy Speaker of the Students' Parliament at the University of Jos in 2004, to going to Harvard University, Kennedy School of Government, and coming out as one of the best students and chair for international affairs, one of the very few blacks to ever occupy that position, to coming back to Nigeria, studying for my PhD at the Nigerian Defense Academy, one of the most respected military institutions in the world. The person who encouraged me to go to the NDA is the current commander of the US Army at the Fresh Pond Academy in Boston, Massachusetts. And he said that Nigeria's military is one of the best in the world. So I said, if I've gone to Harvard and I'm going to come back to Nigeria, I might as well go to the NDA. Universities preserve civilization. Universities shape leaders like you. Universities challenge assumptions. Universities create ideas that outlive generations. And today, perhaps more than any other time in modern history, universities stand as one of the most important crossroads of human civilization. Now, for me, to be invited to the Federal University of Technology, Akure, is a great honor because when you count 10 of them across Africa and maybe around the world, FUTA will be solidly on that list in number 1 to 5. And so the opportunity, and I know because I've been around the world and I've seen what universities should be and what they can be and what they are. And so if you're studying here this afternoon, I wish that I had the privilege that you currently have of sitting in here and carrying the FUTA ID card, knowing that the future is bright because of the institution where I'm currently studying. Now listen, I'm the one who told the DJ to play that song before I came. If you don't know the lyrics, let me say it to you again. Loke loke lola kun fire kun, shall never kpeme, shall never lack. Ayewada kusayemo faaja jekolofa. Gen Zs, am I talking to you guys? If I'm vibing with you now. How many people know the meaning of faja? The title of my lecture is that it's from AI consumers to AI creators. But the informal title of my topic is Faja. If you don't go away with anything this afternoon, I want you to remember that Dr. Toyosi told you at this time, 12:42 p.m. on the 15th of July 2026, to Faja. You know what I mean by Faja? You are dragging something and then it cuts off into your hands. That's exactly how life works. Life doesn't give you what you deserve. Life gives you what you negotiate for. Faja. More than 6 centuries ago, universities transformed humanity by preserving knowledge. 500 years ago, the printing press democratized knowledge. 30 years ago, the internet digitized knowledge. Today, artificial intelligence is doing something fundamentally different. For the first time in history, humanity has invented machines capable not merely of storing information or transmitting knowledge, but of generating ideas, writing code, discovering scientific patterns, composing music, designing products, and increasingly collaborating with human beings in solving complex problems. Ladies and gentlemen, the Faja generation, we have now entered into the global intelligence economy. An economy where intelligence itself, human intelligence, machine intelligence, and collective intelligence have become one of the world's most valuable strategic resources. In this new economy, nations will compete not merely on natural resources. Nigeria used to say we're an oil-rich country. Listen, guys, in 2022 and 2024 and 2026, in 2022, I went to Saudi Arabia to speak at the Global AI Summit as the only Nigerian citizen, non-government, at the biggest AI summit in the world, hosted by the government of Saudi Arabia. In that summit, Saudi Aramco was using artificial intelligence and data science, Python, to test their soil before they do their downstreaming. While Nigerian boys are here in the Niger Delta, calling us an oil-rich country. In 2017, when I was graduating from the Kennedy School, the youngest minister of youth in the world was from the UAE, Shama Al-Mazoui. She was 20 years old. In that year, the UAE was celebrating the exportation of their last barrel of oil. Nigeria is not a rich country because we have petrol. In a global economy where cars are now powered by electricity, Nigeria will be overrun if we continue to say that we're an oil-rich country. In this new economy, nations will not compete just on natural resources, not merely on manufacturing, not even merely on labor, but on your ability to produce intelligence. A convergence of machine and human intelligence is what artificial intelligence is. And for many of you, especially our lecturers, who feel that AI will take our jobs, it is not AI that will take your job, it is the person that knows AI that will take your job. The person who knows how to use AI will take your job, because if you read and research sufficiently, you would see factories in the Philippines where hundreds of thousands of young people are being trained to train AI. AI is trained by human beings. It will not exist without us. The most superior intelligence is still human intelligence. Our ability to create knowledge, to design algorithms, to build intelligent systems, to solve increasingly complex problems faster than ever before, that would change everything. It will change education, it will change research, it will change business, it will change governance, it will change national security, it will transform creativity, it will transform employment, it will change what it means to be educated, and perhaps nowhere in this transformation more significant than within our universities like FUTA. Artificial intelligence is already here. How many of you use ChatGPT? Chatiri Faja? Your lecturers are still using Fortran. Your lecturers are still using some types of desktop laptops. Your generation is far ahead of the lecturers who are teaching you. Am I correct or am I right or wrong? And this is not an indictment on the lecturers. This is me respectfully calling on the government and the leadership of universities to invest in our lecturers. Because the lecturers whom we have entrusted the minds of our young people cannot be treated lesser than governors, lesser than ministers, lesser than leaders in the private sector. I said to the Vice Chancellor this morning that in JS3, Mr. Deumi, my English teacher, I'm glad he's alive. I like to give my heroes their flowers while they're alive. When I do interviews and you ask me, who is my superhero? I don't talk about my dad or my mom, not because I don't love them, but I talk about my dark, tall, brilliant English teacher who volunteered to teach me English language free of charge after classes and prepared me and made me the best student in Ogun State in year 2000. My teacher is the reason why I'm standing here today. All of my teachers, every good thing I do, before I remember to share the joy with anybody, I want my teacher to know that their reward is not in heaven, their reward is right here on earth. Students are using artificial intelligence, researchers are using it, businesses are deploying AI, governments are experimenting with AI. Will Nigerian and African universities mainly teach students like you how to use AI? Or will you produce, you the universities and the lecturers, will you produce scientists, engineers, entrepreneurs, researchers, ethicists, policymakers, and innovators who will build the next generation of artificial intelligence? Who is going to build the ChatGPT for Africa? Can come out from FUTA. I can tell you, listen, you see all those people that you see on social media that seem to you like superheroes, 70% of them are not as intelligent as some of you in this room. I know you won't believe me because you look at it and say, Ayewada, Kosaye Mo. That's why I'm answering you to Faja. You are the generation that has been told that Ayewada, Kosaye Mo. In my father's generation, my father is 74, Gowon became president at 30. People became president, 30, 32, governors. In this country today, the older people have told us that Ayewada, Kusayem, and that's why the young people need to faja from them. Emma Fatou Majani, Ngodoba Gbalamafu. That distinction is the difference between consumption and creation, between dependence and leadership, between relevance and irrelevance. Africa is home to the youngest population on earth, an estimated 400 million young people on this continent, and somewhere around 110 million young Nigerian people. FUTA itself has 25,000 students. By 2050, 1 in every 4 people in the world will be African. The demographic reality presents both an extraordinary opportunity and a profound responsibility. If our universities succeed in preparing young Africans for the global intelligence economy, our continent could become one of the most important centers of innovation, entrepreneurship, and technological leadership. I worry when people sit in Abuja and make policies of our future they are not going to be part of. You can't design education policy if you are not talking to the lecturers in the universities. They are the ones who know where it hurts the most. How many students have been invited to sit around the room? The SUGs of our time, when I was deputy speaker of the Students' Parliament at the University of Jos, our vice chancellor could not increase school fees. You increase school fees, we wait for you at the bus stop. Today, SUG are driving jeeps. How are they going to fight for your interests if they are riding jeeps? I didn't say that universities must not increase school fees, but we must see what they are doing with the funds that the students are paying the money for. I didn't say that government should not increase taxes, but those taxes must touch the lives of our people. If we fail, Africa risks becoming the world's largest consumer of technologies designed anywhere. How can Nigeria be importing toothpick? Oh yeah, let's discuss. 50 marks. Báwo la ṣe fẹ́ máa import toothpick? This is a country that until maybe 10 years ago, we produce everything we don't consume. We produce everything we produce everything, we don't produce anything we consume. And we consume what we don't produce. Look at this hall. What was made in Nigeria? Apart from you, the human beings. But we need to know if some of it are made in Nigeria or not. Try to chinkola on Gwenja Karaoing. No, look around you. What is made in Nigeria here? If our universities succeed in preparing young people for this economy, it is extremely critical. History reminds us that nations that merely consume technology rarely determine anything. Sam Altman came to Nigeria a few years ago, and the US consulate asked me to come and speak there. And I asked him in a very friendly way, you know, welcome to Nigeria. We want to know why you are here so we can know how to support you and all. And he gave me some shocking statistics. The highest number of ChatGPT users in the world. Where do you think they come from? Say it out. Don't be ashamed now. Say it. Benzi, I'm not part of you for the purpose of this lecture. I'm Chinese for now. The highest number of ChatGPT users in the world are Nigerians. Why can't we build our own? And that's the question that I want to leave us with this afternoon. What will it take to build local infrastructure that would drive innovation and technology for Nigeria and the rest of Africa? If those that invent, improve, and export technology that shape global leadership are given the right opportunities, the right platforms, and the right tools, they'll build it. The fourth industrial revolution presents Africa with a rare opportunity to alter its historical trajectory. And guess what? Universities are smack in the middle of this conversation. And that's the reason why I'm not delivering an intellectual lecture this afternoon. As much as it's intellectual, I want it to be very close to home for you. Let me say something that may sound like a surprising statement, because this lecture is actually not about AI, like I mentioned. It's about Swaja. AI is simply the catalyst. For me, when I was preparing this lecture, it's really about the evolution of African universities and the radical change that needs to immediately be embraced, especially by the lecturers. So I'm going to speak to the lecturers a lot this afternoon. The future is on your shoulders, and many of you can be billionaires if somebody simply gave you an expo into certain things. If you know how our lecturers are cherished abroad, there's nothing that anybody wants to buy in Nigeria that Professor McFagan, that Professor David King, Professor Steve Jardine cannot afford. You people are the bedrock of this country. This university should be collaborating with industry and government and driving innovation. I was in Singapore 2 years ago, and I went to have a meeting with Professor Leong Zhu. I spent a whole week with her. She's the professor who leads the AI lab of the National University of Singapore. You know what shocked me as I left? Singapore's government does not spend up to 30% on paying consultants. You know the way government pays consultants and say, let's do this, we want you to consult for us. Do you know the people that Singapore gives all the money that they're supposed to give consultants? Please guess. The university, students and lecturers are the ones who drive research and development for the country. The government wants to solve a problem, right? The government calls the dean of School of Computing, calls this dean and that professor and says, look, we're trying to solve this environmental issue. Go and research it and find out. We pay you $250,000. And the lecturers, because they are very motivated, we call their students and say, 20 of you per department, I'm going to pay you $5,000 each. You guys will do this. If any lecturer called you and gave you $2,000 to do a research as a student, will you be happy or not? $2,000 is even too much. $1,000. Do you understand what I'm saying? The money that government is giving consultants can be given to universities to drive research and development. And that's what I'm advocating for this afternoon. Because those consultants, what do they do? What is management consulting? The business of knowledge, research, data. That is exactly what our lecturers do. For putting them on one level for 13 years and paying them $470,000. printing press could not, let me tell you how important universities are. The printing press came, it could not eliminate universities. The universities consumed printing presses. The Industrial Revolution, first, second, third, fourth, could not eliminate universities. The internet came 30 years ago, could not eliminate universities. Artificial intelligence will not eliminate universities. It will transform universities. But more than transforming universities, it will shock you. You know when they say in Yoruba film, "Oma share be film trick." That's what's going to happen if you don't level up. You are studying accounting today in FUTA. You have another colleague at a university in a smaller country studying accounting with an elective in data analytics or Python programming. Who do you think will get a job first? Huh? Professor Aleshe, Madam Vice Chancellor, ma. Is it possible that AI can be a man? You know the way we used to do GST in 100 level? Is it possible that data analytics and AI can be a compulsory component from 100 level to final year? So that, because listen, 50 years ago, when you graduate from FUTA, you are competing with students in Unilag, OAU. Today, you are competing with students in Lisbon in Portugal, Boston, Massachusetts, Singapore, China, Japan, Vietnam. Those are the folks you are competing against. Those remote work that you are applying for, 100,000 other people from all over the world are also applying. There has to be something that you bring to the table that will make you get that job. And it is not die by fire, die by fire, die by fire. Just as electricity transformed every industry without becoming an industry itself, artificial intelligence will not become an industry itself. It will change every discipline without remaining confined to computer science. Imagine a medical doctor in FUTA studying medicine today. And then imagine another one in a smaller country studying medicine with an elective in data analytics. The difference between both of you is that you know medicine. That guy looks at blood, but he can read the patterns in the blood and predict breast cancer. Who would you employ? Who? The problem is that the system in Nigeria and Africa is rigged against young people. The education that you are giving today does not guarantee your global competitiveness. And Professor Adenike, Temidayo, Oladiji, if all you achieve in your tenure is make AI a compulsory subject for every faculty and department, the radical transformation you will see in FUTA will lift you into the level of superheroes globally. All you need to do is collaborate, get every faculty to collaborate with the School of Computing. Between some of your alumni and myself, we will find private sector companies to provide some little funding. Because the first thing is that every lecturer in this university must know AI. The professor who taught me operations management in 2017, his name is Mark Fagan. Google him. He is the professor that took us to the junction at Charles River between Harvard Kennedy School and Harvard Business School. Teaching us operations management, trying to tell us why there's traffic in different countries. Ask me that what course does he teach at Harvard Kennedy School today? Artificial intelligence. A professor who was teaching operations management 9 years ago is now teaching artificial intelligence at a school of government and public policy. Law will change. Medicine will change. Agriculture will change. Engineering will change. Journalism will change. Public administration will change. Architecture will change. Every profession represented in this room will experience a transformation that you have never seen before. If you are a lawyer, there are already tools that people can use to read their law report and analyze it. So you will not have a job or a career in the next 5 years if you don't know how to use AI. If you're an accountant who doesn't know how to use Python and can't do basic data analytics, you are studying accounting, but you don't know data analytics. What that means is somebody else is sitting in a board meeting and telling his MD as an intern that, sir, this is how much we made in 2025, 2024, 2023. From the analysis I've done, I can predict and forecast that this is what our revenue will look like. We need to cut our procurement costs. We need to cut. Who will you employ? Every profession will change. AI literacy must no longer be considered an optional issue. It must be foundational. Look, we cannot use today's challenges to face yesterday's knowledge. And people in now. We can't use yesterday's knowledge to face today's challenges, rather. Forgive me. I did GST at the University of Jos in 2002. You are still teaching GST to students in 2026. Hey, John, now. Hey, John, now, am I going to GST. GST. What was I don't remember anything in that GST. Our mother still looked at GPT. Lecturers, tell me that your students submit some assignments and you are looking at it. You understand? Kilo happen. You know, you are looking at it because the student's assignment is more advanced than what you gave them in the class. What's the law far? Gen Zs, can I see your hands up? Where are you from later? Should I stop or should I continue? Well, share your mommy. Over the past 2 decades in this country, my journey has taken me through classrooms, communities, boardrooms, government. I've served on presidential committee, chaired this one, chaired that one, technology ecosystems, film production. I made the first feature film on AI in this continent. If I don't get speaking engagements on an average week, 13, 15, I have to decide which one I can take or not. And that's why I'm saying that your life can change if you build the right competencies. For some of us, you know, impact is more critical than whatever it is that you can get. Anything else you get is an addition. And across these experiences, one lesson has remained constant for me. Technology by itself does not change any society. I asked Professor Aleshe this afternoon, I said, sir, do you have a lab? He said, yes, we do. I said, what is inside the lab? He said, we have some things. I said, do you have Arduino boards, potentiometers, jumper cables, microcontrollers, ultrasonic sensors? He said, no, you don't have. So because you don't have, I will buy them and I will donate them to your school of computing. Because this country needs leaders that don't just talk. We need leaders that match their words with action. Economic progress has evolved through distinct eras. The agricultural economy rewarded the people that cultivated land. The industrial economy rewarded those who manufactured goods. The information economy rewarded those who managed information. The knowledge economy rewarded the people who generated ideas. Today we are entering something that is so important. And I'm thinking about it this way. Lecturers and students, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in this Federal University of Technology, Akure, Ondo State, Nigeria, West Africa, world, Can we create intelligence? Can we apply intelligence? Can we govern intelligence responsibly? And can we export intelligence to the rest of the world? Do you want me to take it again so that you can write? If you are chatting with your girlfriend or your boyfriend while this lecture is going on, just know that with the AI on my laptop, I can see you. And this is why AI is not just another technology. It's fast evolving into infrastructure, you know. And, you know, I'm just going to go straight to the heart of, from consumers to creators. How many of our universities today are merely teaching students how to use AI? How many of them are now teaching students how to build AI products? Professor Aleshe, that is what your lab has to begin to do from this afternoon. I don't know how you are going to do it from now. But every student under the sound of my voice this afternoon, every lecturers, please don't feel too big. I beg you. The world, the future belongs to these young people. If there's anything that you take away from this lecture, don't be the lecturer that will be supervising 2 students that are going to be co-founders of the next unicorn in this continent. Be one of those co-founders. Collaborate with your students. Let the technical students be the CTO. Let the one that understands strategy and systems be the CEO. You as the lecturer be the chief knowledge officer who guides them with your knowledge, your experience. Because you know what? If you don't join them, they will pay external consultants to come and do it. My Bible tells me that using ChatGPT is not the same as designing the next generation of intelligent systems. Using coding assistance is not the same as developing foundational AI models. Downloading open source models is not the same as contributing original scientific breakthroughs. Our ambition as a country and a continent cannot stop at adoption. Mua, mua, mua. That's what Africa always does. Africa is not thinking about building. Our ambition must extend to creation. We cannot afford to become merely the testing ground for technologies invented elsewhere. Do you notice every time I'm flying out of Nigeria, everybody on the plane, they are all Nigerians, black people, Chakpa. Every time I'm coming back into Nigeria, anywhere in the world I'm coming from, 30% of the people on the flight, especially business class, they are all foreigners. What do they see in our country that we don't see? Can somebody say Holy Ghost? Holy Ghost. Nǹkan tó fi bò wá lójú yẹ, àwọn ogun ọ̀run wọn láti ṣí. We cannot be satisfied with being the world's largest digital marketplace while remaining its smallest producer of frontier technologies. Instead, our universities must become laboratories where African intelligence creates African solutions for African challenges and increasingly global challenges. Imagine an AI model trained to improve agricultural productivity in your farms in Okakoko, in Akure here, in Aramoko, in Ilora Ekiti, where my mother is from. Imagine AI systems designed specifically for African languages. Imagine intelligent healthcare systems that understand diseases disproportionately affecting African populations. The work of our dear Vice Chancellor, who is a molecular biologist herself. Imagine climate models developed by African researchers using African environmental data. Imagine AI-powered educational platforms that understand the realities of our classrooms, rather than assuming every learner has unlimited broadband, constant electricity, and expensive devices. I want to propose 5 key pillars for Federal University of Technology, Akure. Number 1, it doesn't matter what department, faculty you are studying. The first thing I want to propose is an AI native curriculum, which I already mentioned. AI should not remain confined within computing or computer science department, every graduate must have foundational AI literacy. A lawyer should understand algorithmic accountability. A medical doctor should understand AI-assisted diagnostics. An accountant should understand intelligent auditing systems. A journalist should understand synthetic media and misinformation. An architect should understand generative design. An agriculturist and a farmer should understand precision agriculture. An artist must understand creative AI. Our graduates must not fear artificial intelligence. They should know how to collaborate with it responsively. Curriculum reform, therefore, becomes imperative. Universities must begin asking a fundamental question. What should every graduate know about artificial intelligence before graduation? Not just computer science students. My second pillar is data as national infrastructure. AI begins with data. If I asked whoever is in charge of information in this university today, how many students are in this university? Nobody can tell me. They're going to say about 24,000. Just about 25,000. Every human being in this place has a name, has a gender. They are not, you cannot ask anybody in this room now and they will say, my name is about. So you must be able to tell me 25,612 students. If I now go further and say, how many females, how many are male, how many are Christians, how many are Muslims, how many come from Ondo State, how many come from outside Ondo State, who is going to be able to give me that data? How do you make policies for a people when you don't even know them? Without quality data, there's no trustworthy AI. Unfortunately, many African institutions still treat data as administrative records rather than strategic assets. Universities should become the custodians of Africa's most valuable assets. I'm Professor Adenike Temidayo Oladiji. I've called your name like 200 times this afternoon. I'm sure you will block me everywhere after this lecture. Next time I come to Futama, you have to be able to tell us how many students, how many are female, how many are male, how many are Christians, how many are Muslims. The reason is, yes! If you know how many are Christians, then they will give you a chapel that can accommodate all of you. If we know how many are Muslims, then they can say, let's fix this for this because we have this number of Muslim students. If we know how many are female, then we know how many female toilets we need. If we know how many are male, then we know how many to cater to. Pillar number 3, research reinvented. So I'm a new generation PhD holder. And when I was at the NDA, my professors would say, oh, this is how you are supposed to write your lecture. I'm a Gen Z PhD researcher. Right? Because I wanted to do a practice-led PhD, a subject that will be critical to Nigeria's future. An assessment of the impact of artificial intelligence on Nigeria's national and economic security. A dissertation that will be easy to implement for the Nigerian security architecture. And that's why I did that dissertation. I didn't want to do a PhD for the mere, title of being a doctor. Artificial intelligence is transforming research itself. As a lecturer, do you know when your student presents an AI-generated content to you, there are patterns. When you give me an AI, in my offices, they know. By the way, I work with only Gen Z because you people are the future. Once you bring me a document with intersection, Lambani, intersection, meaningful. There are predictable patterns that you know that the worker lokokini is AI local. So once you send it to me, I will send you back and say, I don't need to run it through an AI software. I know that you are not the one that wrote it. Researchers can now analyze millions of scientific papers in days. You can identify hidden relationships between diseases. You can predict material properties, accelerate drug discovery, generate hypotheses, analyze satellite imagery, conduct simulations that were previously impossible. AI should never replace scientific curiosity. Instead, it should amplify and augment it. Researchers, lecturers, students must continue asking meaningful questions. Artificial intelligence merely helps us answer these questions more efficiently. The future researcher, the people that are going to become the lecturers of the future, they are going to be coming into this place with snapback hats, jeans, tight jeans. You're already seeing them. And the students are going to prefer them than the ones that wear suits. There's absolutely nothing that we can do about it. So the old people need to change. Older people need to collaborate. I'm not afraid of collaborating with young people. I've worked with young people all my life. I enjoy, they are difficult. But if you are altruistic and you are genuinely interested in their future, they are the best people to work with. The fourth pillar is universities as innovation ecosystems. How many patents do you people register in FUTA every year? How many new products are created from this university? Federal University of Technology, no be for mouths. University of Technology means that you are different from just University of Lagos, University of this, University of that. Technology must be at the center of everything that this university does. For too long, many of our universities have measured success almost exclusively through graduation ceremonies. But graduation is not the destination. Innovation should be. Your next convocation, Professor Adenike Temidayo Oladiji must be able to say that today we are graduating so thousands of students and we are launching 12 patents registered in 8 countries, launched by our students from the School of Computing, and it is possible. Universities have to become ecosystems where ideas evolve into products. Research must become patents. Patents must become startups. Look, I'm even saying some things and then I go to my speech and I see it inside. So really, what I'm saying is important. Startups become industries. Industries create jobs. Jobs strengthen economies. Imagine every final year project in this university becoming a potential startup. Imagine doctoral research leading to commercial products. Imagine faculty collaborating with venture capital companies to attract investors into the university. Imagine students launching AI companies before graduation, which is what I'm coming back to do in August, September here in FUTA. FUTA and many other universities must become institutions of creation, not just institutions of graduation. Number 5, AI without ethics becomes dangerous. You take the head of Professor Lagbaja and put it on the neck of Professor Tamedu and send it to his wife and say, I can see your wife in an hotel in Alagbaka. Artificial intelligence without transparency becomes unaccountable. AI without inclusion becomes unjust. AI without governance becomes a risk to our democracy. Africa has the largest technology companies right now. Some of the largest in the world come from this continent. And there's something unique about us as a people, our sense of community. For the people who live abroad, they will tell you that one of the things that bothers them the most, that affects their mental health the most, is the fact that you may be living in a building of 14 flats and you may not see your neighbor for 60 days. In London, in March, a fellow died in his room for 5 days. Nobody knew he was dead. He doesn't interact with his neighbors. But in Akure, in Lagos, in Kaduna, in Enugu, you must come out and say, hi, my guy, how far? Our sense of community is a leverage for us as a people. Our human dignity, our shared responsibility, social justice. We have an opportunity to contribute to something uniquely African to the global AI agenda. And it's not simply technology, it is wisdom. There's no continent like Africa, and I can tell you for free. Computing education alone is no longer sufficient. Collaboration is important. AI that works with neuroscience will change the way we see malaria. It will change the way we view HIV and AIDS. The next breakthrough may not come from the computer science department alone. It may come from a collaboration between students that are computer scientists, linguists who are studying English language, medical doctors, educators, artists, the people who are studying psychology. Universities must therefore reward interdisciplinary collaboration. Professor Adenike Temidayo Oladiji, interdisciplinary collaboration. Students, you must not be, don't stay in your faculties alone. Don't go to another department to look for a babe. You can do that and then look for other opportunities. Industry moves faster than academia. Universities think in semesters, but industries think in weeks. Technology companies release AI models almost on a monthly basis. Curricula are often reviewed every 5 years. The gap is becoming unsustainable. In that 5-year period, while to change a curriculum in this country is so difficult. Why? But when it's time to share money, it moves so fast. If you tell them to change the curriculum, they're going to say, oh, it has to go through NUC approval. Oh, we have to go to Abuja. 5 years? Some people have done a 4-year course. They've gone. They didn't benefit from anything, apart from the cost they did. Industry must become a co-creator of higher education in this country. Not merely employers, not just partners. Companies must help to shape curriculum, offer internships, sponsor research. When FUTA and other universities go to private companies, what do you ask for? If you run into the CEO of Google today, I can't imagine Google receiving a well-written letter, well-researched, by 6 professors, signed by the Vice Chancellor, the DVC admin, and DVC academics, written to Google, send it to Google in Seattle, Washington, and then copy the Google office across Africa. You will get an answer. You will come across as a serious university. Private sector must fund innovation laboratories, which is what I just talked about. Universities must become more responsive. This hall cannot be used for only this type of lecture and then you don't use it again for the next 2 weeks. This hall should be used, it can be used as water. That's my problem with this country. You go everywhere on every street, there are churches everywhere. Those churches are locked during the week, they operate only on Sundays. Hazard now. The young people in that church that need technology skills, why can't we teach them Python in that church on the weekdays? Parents who are looking for where to take their children to after school, why can't we do after school technology classes for 2 hours, 3 times a week? That church was built with our tithes and offerings. Why can't we use them to train our young people, improve their skills, make them more employable, and then export them into other countries? This partnership is not much more about commercializing education. For me, and I'm going to now face you, the students, because I've spoken to your lecturers a lot. You belong to the most fortunate generation in the world history. If I were 25 in 2026, me, Toyosi, and even though I'm not 25, I don't believe that time has passed me by. In fact, last week they announced that most VCs are looking for startup founders in their late 30s and early 40s. So if you're a lecturer who is in your late 30s and early 40s, you're not late at all. Moabudu launched Ebony Life at 49. Some of the best and most successful entrepreneurs in the world are in their late 30s and early 40s, so you are not unfortunate. You, the students, are the most fortunate. You are in the most fortunate generation. A generation that has good, if I were 25. It's not because your future is going to be easy. It's because the opportunities available to you, they are unprecedented. The amount of fellowships, grants, there are some grants that are as low as $250, $500. Some as high as $250,000, and they will say if you are above 35, you cannot get it. So it means that the world is now getting rigged against older people. You people are the ones who are going to benefit the most. Don't use AI to merely complete your assignments. Use it to ask better questions. Learn prompt engineering. When I decided to take an AI PhD, the first thing I did, when I decided to go into the practice of AI, the first thing I did was to learn prompt engineering. Because prompt engineering teaches you the best, how to question AI, what to tell it, because it is what you tell it that it ends up delivering back to you. Having reflected on all of this today, please note this down. Don't forget. You know, we talked about from AI consumers to AI creators. The create framework for me looks like this. The C in create means curriculum transformation. The R means responsible AI governance. The E means entrepreneurship and innovation. The A means AI research excellence. The T means technology and industry collaboration. And the E means evidence, data, and evaluation. Your university must have an AI strategy. Professor Alishe, can I challenge you to commit that you must have a footer AI strategy in this university? Please, where are my witnesses? That by this time next year, you will be the first university in this country to release an AI strategy. We must invest in AI infrastructure. We must reward interdisciplinary collaboration. We must build stronger partnerships. We must prioritize Africa's problems. We must promote responsible AI. We must invest in academic talent. Our lecturers are not an appendage. Anybody who is going to be employed as a lecturer in this country must be good enough to work at Google, Microsoft, Int'l, MTN, any of those companies. We cannot say that people that have tried to look for jobs everywhere and they did not find are the ones that will now absorb into the education system. We must build entrepreneurial universities. We must think globally and build locally. For me, as I close this lecture this afternoon, there's no way government can build everything. And universities in Nigeria are seen by government as just an expenditure line item. Whenever you see when they report about universities, they are funding universities, paying ASU. The government that tells our lecturers that they are not good enough to be paid a certain amount of money, driving convoys of 60 cars. And then when they come on the streets, we hail them. We cannot wait until we continue to talk about the poor labor market with poor quality graduates. Those graduates come out of our universities. The future doesn't diminish the role of you as lecturers. I already told you that AI will not replace you as professors. But AI understands the influence that you hold on the future of these young people and the future of our country. It is extremely critical that you think about it this way and understand, again, that it is not AI that will take your job. It's the person sitting beside you that has AI skills that will take your job. And my job would have been done if I came here this afternoon and I come back in 2027 and Footer has an AI strategy. What I would do with this paper to push Footer into the global domain is to publish this paper as an international policy brief in the Harvard Journal. Because I want the world, I want to be able to put the searchlight on this university as a center of excellence where if Google was thinking about investing in a university and thinking about putting $1 million in a university in Nigeria, in Africa, then it has to be Footer. I'm going to close by saying, what solutions can I build? You guys, please ask yourself. The future will not be inherited by those who merely consume technology. Ideas, institutions, innovation, and leadership that will define the global intelligence economy. Now, if you don't remember anything that I said in this lecture at all, I'm sure that you will remember loke lola kun fire kun. Shall never peme, shall never lack. Ayewada kusaye mo faja. My name is Toyosi Akerele Obishiji. I forgot. Public service announcement. On the 29th of May 2039, as God gives us life, I'll become the president of this country. By the special grace of God. It's a political statement, you can quote me. But Nigeria is done with leaders who don't understand that you cannot campaign to me with a fancy car and then win elections and chase me off the streets with your siren. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Shall we be seated, please? Quickly, before let me invite our Vice Chancellor to make a presentation of an award to our guest speaker. The guest speaker, please. Our Vice Chancellor, ma. The award. The guest speaker, please. The Dean should please.
Thank you very much. Another hand of applause for our lecturer. You know, while I was introducing her, I said she's not here because she's a woman, but she's here because she is eminently qualified to speak on this topic. Madam, you have changed the landscape, I can tell. And I can confirm that even while you were speaking, quite a number of things have been synthesized at our end. And very soon, they will be unfolding. Incidentally, before today, I've been in discussion with Professor Alishe that we must have a center of excellence in artificial intelligence, robotics, and data science, and all of those things. So when you came today, it was easy for us to conclude that we are long overdue. So you will see the products of what we will do. And I'm happy because as we were trying to crystallize it, you know, all the people sitting here, they have started making donations even to ensure the takeoff of the center. On behalf, first of the Federal University of Technology, Akure, and the School of Computing, but we want to thank you for this well thought out, well delivered, quite inspiring and educative lecture. We are truly blessed to have had you to set the tone for this conference and to set the tone for the School of Computing. It's the first conference, and this conference will resonate with many of us for many years. We want to thank you and present this to you just as a symbol that you were here. Thank you, ma'am. these pictures that we took just now, all the ones we are taking today, 2039, we will bring the pictures out to remind all of us when it happens that we started cooking it right in Futa. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Because of the exigency of office, our Vice Chancellor would like to leave. But before she does, let us have a quick photograph here. Please, sir. Let's have the chairman and the chairman conference to please join. The dean, sir. Baba. Let's have Professor Akimbogo, please. Baba, please come. Usher, please. Dr. Gagusa. Thank you very much. Thank you. We'd like to welcome the Dean School of Physical Sciences, Professor Adebola. You are welcome. We also welcome Director Sergis Futa, Professor Mary Olowo Okere. You are welcome, ma'am. The next awardee is Joel Ogushola. I request that you step forward while I invite Jennifer to take his citation. Can you please the audience?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to read the citation of Mr. Joel Ogunshola. Joel Ogunshola is the founder and chief executive officer of Prunedge Development Technologies Limited, an enterprise technology solutions company focused on delivering software, data, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, blockchain, mixed reality, and IoT solutions for organizations across Africa. He is a graduate of mechanical engineering from the Federal University of Technology, Akure. Before founding Prunedge in September 2015, he had worked at Microsoft, where he led the education technology advisory team in Nigeria as the Microsoft Education Technical Advisor. He has also served as the pioneer head of Ondo State Office of Innovation and Partnerships and as a senior special assistant to Ondo State Governor from 2019 to 2020, making him the youngest SSA at the time of appointment and the youngest head of an innovation government agency across Africa. His numerous recognitions includes being named ICT Entrepreneur of the Year at the 2022 Beacon of the ICT Awards, receiving the JCI 10 Outstanding Young Person in Nigeria's Award in 2022 for his accomplishments in technology advancements, and being honored at the Royal African Yoruba Leadership Forum Awards for his impact on advancing technology in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to present to you Mr. Joel Ogunshola.
Thank you very much. I'll invite the University Librarian, Dr. Robert Akiade, to do the presentation.
It is my honor to present this award of honor to you in recognition of the appreciation in recognition and appreciation of your outstanding contributions to advancement of the information technology ecosystem, not only in Nigeria, but in Africa. This day, 15th of July, 2026. Congratulations.
Congratulations. The next person is Olushola Amuson. Please can you step forward? I also invite Jennifer to take the citation.
I'm once again pleased to read the citation of the co-founder and chief executive officer of Vesti, Olushola Amuson. Olushola Amuson is the co-founder and chief executive officer of Vesti, also referred to as Vesti AI or Vesti Technologies. Vesti is a global migration infrastructure and financial technology company headquartered in Dallas, Texas, with operations across Africa, including Nigeria, Kenya, and Ghana, the UK, and Canada. The company is building secure and compliant digital infrastructure to simplify immigration processes and support the financial futures of the next 1 billion global immigrants. Under his leadership, Vesti has achieved significant milestones, including crossing over 1 million downloads of its app and providing advisory services to more than 400,000 immigration hopefuls. The company has also disbursed over 1 billion naira in travel loans to support migrants, students, and families. In 2024, Vesti announced plans to create over 1,500 engineering jobs in Lagos by 2027, positioning the city as a software engineering location of choice. Beyond his role at Vesti, Olushola Amuson is also the co-founder of Creators University, an initiative focused on uncovering technology in Africa and building the continent's tech community. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mr. Olushola Amuson.
Once again, I will invite the university librarian.
It is a real privilege and my honor to make this presentation to you in recognition and appreciation of your outstanding contributions to the advancement of the artificial intelligence ecosystem in Nigeria and your innovative leadership in transforming migration opportunities and global mobility for young Nigerians through technology-driven solutions. This 15th day of July 2026. Congratulations.
Let me invite the representative of Aziz Razak. He's being represented by Engineer Dr. Tunji Owosheni, while I invite the Dean School of Agriculture and Agricultural Technology to do this presentation.
It is my honor to present to you in recognition and appreciation of your outstanding dedications and advancement of the cybersecurity ecosystem in Nigeria. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
The next awardee is Dr. Ogundele Olontoba, ably represented by architect Awogbami Kunle. I will invite former Deputy Vice Chancellor Development, Professor Tolulope Akinbogun.
It is a privilege and honor for me to present this award to you in recognition and appreciation of your exemplary service as a distinguished alumnus and worthy ambassador of the School of Computing, Federal University of Technology, Akure, Futa. Congratulations.
Next is Professor Tiko Iyamu. Let me invite Professor Olumide Obe to collect on his behalf. While I invite our Papa, Abafalaki, to come and present this award. Sir.
Citation, School of the School of Computing, Federal University of Technology, Award of Honor to Professor Tiko Iyamu in recognition and appreciation of your distinguished service as the keynote speaker at the International Conference of School of Computing, Federal University of Technology, Akure. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, sir. I would like to invite Akin Ibiyemi to represent David Abulowarin Kiitan, Akin Ibiyemi. And I will invite the Dean School of Physical Science, Professor Adebola, for this presentation.
It is my honor to present this award in recognition and appreciation of your outstanding contribution to the advancement of information technology, liberation and digital skill, education and digital skill development in Africa. Congratulations.
The next award goes to Akintoye Akinboluwaji Oluwatola, while I invite the Dean School of Computing to represent him, as I invite our guest lecturer, ma.
You are presenting this award.
To present this award, yes.
You are presenting it to me. Then the last question. Okay, my date, it was my date. Oh, in the university. So it's on about daily absence. So I'm standing in.
So this award is to Dr. Akintoye Akinboluwaji Oluwatola in recognition and appreciation of your exemplary service as a distinguished alumnus and worthy ambassador of the School of Computing, Federal University of Technology, Akure, Ondo State, Nigeria, this 15th day of July, 2026. And Mr. Professor Kayode Boniface Alishe, the Dean of the School of Computing, will be receiving it on his behalf as is unavoidably absent.
Next is Dr. Opeyemi Dele Ajayi, while I invite Professor Akinyede to receive on his behalf, and the Dean School of Computing will do the presentation.
Award of Honor presented to Dr. Opeyemi Dele Ajayi in recognition and appreciation of your distinguished service as a keynote speaker at the first International Conference of School of Computing, Federal University of Technology, Akure, this 15th day of July 2026. Congratulations.
Wale Oronti. Wale.
Thank you very much, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. We want to take a lecture from one of our keynote speakers, Dr. Opeyemidele Ajayi, Associate Professor of AI and Informatics, Northumberland University. He's going to speak on harnessing AI and big data for resilient national infrastructure, smart solutions for 21st century challenges, and he'll be speaking to us online. Please don't go yet.
Good afternoon again, and I want to just say thank you for everyone trying to do logistics and make all this work. It's a really good opportunity to be here virtually with you this afternoon. Thank you very much for having me. Okay, all right. So the topic I was given to speak on today is about harnessing big data and AI for national infrastructure. And I want to give a little bit of background about my own career. This is really interesting to me. I'm really excited to be talking about it. I started my own academic career working on technology education here in Nigeria. My PhD was around using games to teach mathematics education in the classroom. So I work with teachers, universities, governments, institutions, and all kinds of people to think about like how we could get our technology into the classroom. And then I spent several years at Meta working on some of the very difficult questions that sort of emerged when technologies reaches billions of people. So topics like privacy, like data use, like transparency, like control and trust. And a couple of months ago, I made the switch back to academia just to continue to like dig deeper into some of these questions in a much more freer and environment. Much of my work is concerned with responsible AI and a fairly simple question sort of guides the way I think about my work. Okay? What happens when intelligent systems move from being interesting technologies to becoming part of the infrastructure of everyday life? I still remember the first time I opened a Facebook account. It was interestingly at the Student Union building. I don't know if it's still the Student Union building on campus. Back in 2004. And I remember having to trek all the way from Akineko all on the, what do you call it, the South Campus. Okay, I'm trying to remember what it's exactly called now, Obakikere. And I can remember like going trekking all the way to like the Student Union building then to open a Facebook account. But technology has changed now. It's become part of the infrastructure of everyday life. And that transition changes the question. So in particular with AI, the question becomes, it's not just can AI work? Does it work? Okay? It's can the society continue to work when it depends on AI? And those are two very different questions, excuse me. And today I want to make one single argument that we don't just simply need more intelligence, we need the capacity to convert intelligence into resilience. And that's what my talk is about today. The question I want us to think about this afternoon is how can Nigeria convert intelligence into national resilience without creating fragility? Okay? When we talk about AI, we naturally imagine what's possible. I've seen the program for this conference. There's so many exciting topics around using AI for MRI scans, using AI for agriculture. It's natural to imagine what's possible, and we should be ambitious. We should think about all these potential solutions. So I'm not here as a responsible AI academic to tell you AI is dangerous and give you a talk that makes everyone go afraid of ChatGPT. That's not my argument. I believe very strongly in the possibilities of these technologies. But I also think we're entering a period where it is becoming too easy to confuse things like technical capability with national capacity. Okay? A model can predict something, but that does not necessarily mean that an institution can respond to that. Okay? The same way a system cannot make a decision, but that doesn't necessarily mean the decision is legitimate. Okay? A platform can connect everybody. Like I said the other time, we worked on some of the world's biggest platforms like WhatsApp, but sometimes it becomes unavailable. And that is exactly the time why some people need it the most. Okay? A country like Nigeria can generate enormous amounts of data without necessarily understanding itself better. So the challenge I'm thinking about, and I really want to invite you to think about, is that Nigeria should not simply become an AI-powered country. We should be a country that can use intelligence without becoming fragile because of our dependence on that intelligence. Okay, so that's the journey I want to take us through today. Like I said earlier, there's so many problems that AI could help with. And like I said, I mean, looking at the program, there's so many exciting things that people are going to be talking about during this conference. The exciting thing as well is that we don't need to invent imaginary problems for AI to solve. We've got a lot of problems around us. Okay, when it comes to the supply side of problems, we're good. The question is whether we can solve some of these better. So, for example, if you think about electricity, anyone who has really understands that electricity is not an abstract infrastructure problem. You've got NEPA take light, you've got inverters, you've got generators, everybody talks about it. But the thing is, the electricity network actually produces an enormous amount of information. So things like the conditions of the equipment, like demand, like faults, like maintenance records, the weather, engineer reports, all these kinds of information. And in principle, you know, AI systems, the smart systems that we're developing can help us identify failure much more earlier in the pipeline. It can help us detect patterns that human beings may not see across millions of data points. It can help us move maintenance from things like, oh, that transformer has failed, to this transformer is showing a combination of several signals that suggest that failure will become likely. So those things are valuable. And the same thing applies to transport, okay? One fascinating problem I've seen in several African cities is that the city people actually experience, the way they experience the city is often different from the official city that exists in the official data set. Okay? So if I ask you for a database, how people move through Lagos, Abuja, Wado, Accra, does it really understand some of the very interesting vehicles that we use, like maybe Keke Napep or like the Okada and things like that? Does it understand that an official bus stop and the place where everybody actually enters the bus may be two completely different places? So while AI can potentially help us understand the city as actually, we need to be thinking about some of the gaps that exist. Okay? And I can talk about health, which is a very interesting one actually. We have a lot of technical, talented clinicians, but we don't have enough of them. So AI could help triage, it could help interpret information, could help support these professionals working on autonomous projects. So there's a lot of promise from this, okay? Well, like I was saying earlier, there are very interesting things too that we should be thinking about. So, for example, in health, I was just talking about, somebody could describe their symptoms to an AI and say, my body is somehow. How does the model actually understand that? Okay? All these areas are like generate signals and could potentially help us act earlier and act better. They promise us intelligence, the ability to observe more, to detect more, to understand more, and sometimes, I mean, with things like agentic AI, to act earlier. So we also have to confront the other side. And that's the core of my talk today is data dependence also creates systemic risk. Okay, so let's look at a very ordinary Nigerian example. Your phone number, it's not really a private information data in Nigeria. As I'm starting to learn, for many of us, it's not simply just your phone number as well. It's part of your identity infrastructure, so they call it infrastructure. You get in your bank alerts, your OTPs, your password resets, all this information, your WhatsApp, sometimes your entire business is tied to your mobile number. Okay? And someone collects enough information about you. Okay, some of it might even come from like a data leak, from social media, from a call, from a phone call, from something you share. Now, a criminal manages to hijack your number, okay? And suddenly, the bank itself, which could have its system secure and fine, have been hacked, could be technically secure, but suddenly your money disappears. And that's where it starts. You go to your network provider, MTN or Glo or any one of them, and they tell you, oh, speak to your bank. And then you contact your bank and they say, talk to the police and you report it. Everybody has handled their part of the system correctly. Everything is supposed to be working out fine. Yet, you're stranded, okay? And that's where the resident problem comes, because the failure I just described is not contained in only one institution. It travels across the connections between these institutions, and nobody owns the entire experience. This is something I became particularly interested in during my years working at Meta. we often think about systems from the point of view of the direction that built them. But when you think about the end user, they don't experience an organizational chart. They experience the journey. Like I said, in some of my initial work I met around privacy and data use and transparency sort of opened my eyes to like different ways this tends to play out. Okay, you can technically give somebody a control, but really meaningfully actually find a way not to actually give them control. So I'm not saying this happens, but I'm saying that the setting exists. But can people find it? Do they understand what it does? Can they reverse an action? And what happens when something goes wrong? Okay? And these questions matter now, even as we move from like social platforms and where just AI and technology is just a means for us to connect, to where it becomes national infrastructure, where failure can sometimes lead to loss of life and property. And because AI is entering this picture from these two different directions, where we talk about its capability and its fragility, we need to think about how to build responsibly. Okay, the AI that can help us detect the fraud easily can also be used to create a clone voice that starts the fraud in the first place. Okay, so this same technology can sit on both sides of the attack. So the question is not just simply are we using AI, are we adopting AI? The question has to be what systems are we creating to its use. I was talking about the capability and fragility situation, and I think this goes to the first important challenge I want to put to this group. Every major capability we can add or we can arrive at has a corresponding fragility. So you think about wider data use, say let's use data more, let's use more of the it can give us better intelligence. But it also creates greater exposure. Greater connectivity allows systems to coordinate, but it also means failure can travel further and faster. And things like more autonomy can allow systems to act fast, but it can also displace human control. I want to be very clear here. Like I said earlier, this is absolutely nothing about an argument against data. It is not an argument against connectivity, better experimentation. It's not an argument against automation. It's an argument against pretending or assuming that some of the benefits are high enough. They don't. They normally bring some friends alongside, and some of these friends can be expensive. The more services you connect to your identity, the easier your life becomes. But then that identity gets compromised, and then you have a problem. The same connectivity that created that convenience creates a different scale of failure that sometimes can be harder to deal with. And so this is the fundamental paradox of modern infrastructure. As we're thinking about the use of AI for national infrastructure, we should be thinking about our paradox. The things that make system efficient during normal conditions can sometimes make them fragile under abnormal conditions. So responsible innovation means holding these two set of truths, both at once. What capability are we creating? What failure mode are we creating at the same time? So I talked about some of these benefits that we do. The topic I was asked to speak on is addressing big data. Massive opportunities from big data. Again, like I said, for detecting, for early action and things like that. But I'm also going to say that I found this phrase, this whole idea of like big data, slightly dangerous. I mean, in my own career, because psychologically, once we hear big data, we if we're not careful, we start to assume that means it's complete. But the data set can be enormous and can still be systematically wrong. You can have 1 billion data points and still be missing the people that matter. I was talking about smart, transport systems the other time, and the potential to meet things like maybe Kekela, Peb, and Okada, and so other forms of transport that maybe look at an environment. In Nigeria, this is also something that we have to be thinking about. I was talking about my my experience working with teachers, working in the education sector in Nigeria the other time. And this concept of like blind sports became very concrete, okay? Working with thousands of users, and whenever you work at that scale, it's tempting to reduce people to variables that are easiest to measure. How many people attended, how many people completed training, how many people were logged into the systems. And no questions about the fact that those numbers matter. But they do not automatically tell you whether somebody changed and what happened in the classroom. They do not tell you whether that technology worked on the device which the teacher actually owned. I was talking about my PhD experience of building games to be used in the classroom, and it was a totally an almost awakening for me when I got into the classroom with those games, because I thought they were the best things after sliced bread. But the teachers didn't want to use them. And it opened my eyes to the realities of using technology on the ground. So I was saying, those numbers about like who attended training, who completed a course, who got a certificate, they don't necessarily tell you the reality. Okay? That is why in one of the programs I worked on, Int'l, we're not simply thousands of teachers that have been trained, we're interested in actually what changed, who participated, what happened to their classroom practice. And downstream, do the students benefit? If we saw gender differences before and maybe aspiration, did those change? What did teachers know about the original program design? And what is the feedback they're giving us about the next iteration of things? The same principles applies to national infrastructure, okay? Our data sometimes often represent people who are easiest to count, okay? The person using the former health facility enters the data set, but the person who never reaches that health center does not. Somebody maybe that has an official transport vehicle gets counted and gets reported in transport data, but an informal journey might not. Okay, these are different levels. Okay, of the assumptions that we make around data. We have a lot of data, therefore we understand the problem. Not necessarily. Sometimes all you have is a precise description of the people that you need to manage. And I really, really want us to think about this as we get into this conference. Okay, so switching gears now. We know that neither intelligence or autonomous actions would automatically deliver resilience. Resilience happens when there's own action, okay? There's continuity, people can challenge and question, and then there's recovery. I want to talk about this a little bit. Resilience, like I said, has four characteristics, okay? And the first is own action. If a system produces intelligence, somebody must be able to own what happens next. Okay, it's not about, oh, the computer said this, or this person said that, or I generated this response. What exactly happened? And what is the own action that is following this? The second is continuity. Can an essential service, when we're thinking about infrastructure, can it continue when the technology fails? For example, when network drops, which tends to happen often, when the cloud either goes down, when supply disappears, whatever it is, when there's a cyber attack, when the modem is unavailable, what happens? What happens to continuity? Is resilient system cannot only have like an happy path. We need to think about like failure mode, fallback mode, and all these things, technical skills that we are building into how we can ensure that the system is resilient. Thirdly is challenge. Can the professional, can the human in the loop say, okay, yeah, this is what AI says, but based on what I'm seeing, I do not agree. I want to contest that. And can the system support that? Because we all agree that expertise should not disappear simply because the model has a confidence score of 99%. It could still be 99% and be wrong. And then finally is recovery. And this is the part of resilience discussions that we often neglect. What happens after failure? Can we recover access? And most importantly, what can we learn? Can the next failure be handled better than the previous one? A system that never fails does not exist. So we need to be thinking about resilience in this way. It's not necessarily the absence of failure. It's the capacity to continue to recover and learn. Okay. All right. So narrowing down on the three things that I want to argue that it's critical to convert intelligence into resilience. I think the first thing is dependent intelligence, the second is capable institutions, and third is human agency. And I'm going to talk about each of these one after the other. Dependable intelligence means that intelligence or guessing is representative, is robust, and is secure. It has to be dependable enough for the decision being made. I was talking the other time about like big data, missing some key data that you might need to have a full picture of whatever it is you're trying to build or influence. And notice that I said for the decision being made, because AI does not need to be perfect to be useful. But the standard should depend on the consequence. What is the consequence? Is this just a memo? Or is this a model that is going to determine who gets maybe some form of support from government, or maybe we get access into a health trial, that kind of a thing. So a model recommending, say, a film to you on Netflix can be wrong. You're going to survive. But a model deciding whether somebody receives emergency attention is operating at a different context. And I'm sure we understand this. So dependable intelligence, like I said, depends on three key things. The intelligence driving is representative, and it's representative of whom? Of what? Under what conditions? If we build, say, a transform model based on smartphone traces, who disappears from that? Okay? If you build a financial model based on former financial histories, pay histories from the bank or from like an online store, what happens to people who operate heavily in the informal sector or economy? And this is one of the reasons why, for me, I increasingly think some of the most important AI research in Nigeria, a footer, or wherever it is we're doing research, may not necessarily be about inventing new model architecture. It may be about understanding the world the model is supposed to operate in. Okay, what are some of the intricacies and the peculiarities that we have that will influence if this thing is successful or not? Secondly is robustness. Okay, does the system work in an environment where we actually deploy it? I've worked in global technology environments where it's possible to design an excellent connectivity, modern devices, enormous computing infrastructure. But working also in Nigeria like teaches you a different kind of engineering discipline. Does it work when connectivity is unstable? Does it work in an older device? I mean, it was shocking a couple of years ago to discover that some people would not even install like a Play Store or App Store, and they would still run apps on their phone. That was a discovery for me. Does it work when records are incomplete? Does it fail gracefully? And I wanted to say that like, this is not to say we should be building inferior systems. In many ways, the thinking about some of these additional requirements, if I call them that, is harder engineering. And finally, is security. Okay, I know we talk about this a lot. I know Professor Alishi works in this space. It's even more important about this now. As AI becomes part of important systems, the system itself becomes the target. We know that. Data can be manipulated, inputs can be adversed. So models can be used to produce unreliable results. So a system that is brilliant in a lab, in our tests, in our experiments, but easy to manipulate in deployment is not dependent intelligence. And if you're thinking about resilience infrastructure for a national development and growth, these are things that we should be thinking about. So the challenge for us as researchers is for us to widen the way we think about effectiveness and efficiency. The second thing is capable institutions. I was talking about intelligence the other time. It doesn't act by itself. Okay, so like I said, I was talking about the example of the power system. Let's say it predicts that maybe the equipment has a 80-85% probability of failing within the next 7 days. Okay, yeah. So what now? Who gets that warning? Does the person understand the warning that they received? Can they challenge it? Do they have the authority and the agents to act? Is there money in the budget to act on that? Is there replacement? All these other things that you have to think about that institutions own. Okay? a good technical solution, a good model, a good predictive model, whatever it is can die inside an institution that has no pathway for acting on it. And I've seen this several in like different innovation programs, both in Nigeria and across the world. I've seen it in education, I've seen it in technology organizations. And it's the reason why in my current work around innovation ecosystems, I keep coming back to this design. What do we want to do? How do we want to produce more innovation? Sometimes the deeper problem is what institution is capable of absorbing the innovation after it's been produced. You can have brilliant startups, excellent researchers, like all these fantastic products and prototypes, but if nobody's going to adopt them, if nobody's going to use that, then they don't deliver any value at the end of the day. So institutional capacity is also something for us to think about. And finally, start to wrap up in a bit. This is my favorite part of the entire thing, people. I work in humanitarian area, so it's possible that I'm biased here. But I think one of the great mistakes in AI and cybersecurity, technology design, especially in cybersecurity and privacy, is that humans are the weakest link. I mean, to some extent, that makes sense, and I see why people say that. And sometimes people are the weakest link. But sometimes the system is also badly designed. Okay, you give somebody 12 passwords, and you force them to change the password every week. But you give them different systems that do not talk to each other. You're doing all kinds of security training that doesn't necessarily go to the core of like what people need. And that's why I think that sometimes when people say humans are the weakest link, it's the design that has not been well done, the process being the weakest link. So the system must do its best to make secure behavior possible. Okay, people must have the skills to be able to judge. They must have the skills of AI fluency to be able to assess if what you're saying is right or wrong. A document that look official can be completely false. So what skills do people have to be able to say, you know what, I want to question that. I don't think is right. Okay? And this question became very important to me during my work on privacy and control. I mean, like I said the other time, you could give somebody a control or a tool, but the harder question is can you discover, can you find it, can you use it, do they understand what it's doing? So that aspect of improving human knowledge, ensuring that people are properly equipped to protect, govern, to recover is very important. I'm going to start rounding up now. I like lists a lot, so I'm going to give you another list. I think this is a framework I've been thinking about, that I think intelligence becomes resilience on across the pathway, okay? So we observe, we interpret, we decide, we coordinate, we have to sustain, and we learn. And I want you to notice something, okay? When you think about AI, thinking about resilience, AI may only occupy one or two parts of this chain, okay? So it might be observing, it might be interpreting, it might be helping to make a decision, and sometimes it might even be making the decision itself. I want you to think about that power problem I talked about the initial example I gave the other time. A sensor detects some the model concludes that a component may fail in the system. That's interpretation. Somebody decides that intervention is necessary. That's the decision that has to be made. The organization then brings together whoever needs to do that. That's coordination. And then it gets fixed. That's action. The service keeps running while this is happening. That's sustaining. And that's the key thing that we need to be thinking about. How do we ensure that continues to happen? How do we ensure that the systems that we're building are taking into consideration all the key, as much as possible, all the key considerations so that systems can be sustained, not sustainable. Systems can continue to work, or use that word in the way. Systems can continue to work even in the toughest conditions. There's a lot of evaluation talk going on in the AI world at the moment. I think this is where a lot of focus is. And a lot of you researchers and builders and startups are like downloading all kinds of models and building stuff with and evaluating this. And this brings me to my core challenge to the academic community at FUTA and all those attending this conference. And I say this as somebody that is not part of the academic community myself, so I'm talking to myself as well. If we think only about evaluating models, we cannot claim to have evaluated resilience. Okay? We have to become much more disciplined about the claims we make. A model predicting, say, crop disease accurately, that's excellent research. That's really, really good research. But that has not reduced crop loss. Okay, it's the same thing, a model, say, detecting a health condition is excellent research. We're going to see a lot of that in the presentations over the next few days. But it has not improved the health system yet. Okay, it's the same thing about an algorithm that we're using to maybe identify infrastructure failure. But it has not prevented any failure. So that delta, that gap between the technical results and the societal outcome, it's the pathway. And we need to start thinking, taking the pathway as the object of research. And that's what a lot of people call impactful research. Real research actually who's doing it, not just, oh, we found out that this model has improved this result by 10%. And so what happens to that? Who makes a decision as a result of that? Oh, we've developed something that can identify crop disease. Okay, so what? Can somebody in Virginia or whatever in Ogun State, can they get that and then use it? What happens to those things that we're trying to do? I think this is where I'm just what do you call it? As a field, as an enormous opportunity, because I don't think the answer is for us to stop building models, stop trying these things. The answer is for us to be ambitious about what we consider the system. I mean, the other speaker, this can talk with people that don't speak and talk like us, to understand their worldview and to understand how what we're building and to be fair in the real world. So 4 quick tests for research that will deliver impact as I round up. I want you to be precise about the claim. It's very, very important. Like I said the other time about some of the models we're building or some of the example or experiments that we're doing. What exactly is it? If you build a model, say you've built one, it could be a very important contribution. But solving, for example, and announcing that, like, or saying that, oh, I've solved agriculture, it's just not it. And that's the truth. We need to be precise. What level of the problem have we addressed? And that's fine if it's just better understanding, if it's just try on a small scale, that's okay. Secondly, we need to identify decision and its owner. So when someone tells me AI will help in decision making, my question is usually like, which decision, which person, what organization, at what point? With what authority? When you say decision making, it's not a place. There's something to be done by somebody. And one of the lessons I learned very strongly in industry is that research is most useful when it's connected to a real decision. Somebody, as a matter of fact, some of the research that we did, we have to say who exactly is going to use that research before you even start conducting it. So the idea might be exciting to you, but if nobody's going to take any decisions based on what you've done, then it's not that useful to anybody. And I think, again, for us as academics, this is something we need to be thinking critically about in this day and age. Going to feel like jumping, but I'm going to try and get through this. Treat engagement as research. You're not bringing in this, I was talking about like decision makers, so policy makers, civil servants, and all these folks. You're not bringing them into the conversation when your research is done. You're bringing them from the beginning of the conversation. I hear this a lot when I speak to academics in the country about, oh, nobody wants to use it. And I'm like, yeah, if you bring something to me where you're done, when you finish cooking it, maybe I'm not interested in it. So when you start thinking about the research plan, your proposal, your grant application, getting these, what do you call it, the potential users, farmers, the health officials, getting them in the room while you're putting all this together is good. And finally, evaluate the pathway and not the model, not just the model. going back to learn, to see what you put out in the real world. Did it work? Did it make any impact? Did it influence anything? Or should you work on the next version? What did you learn? All these things are critical, especially as you start to think about doing research that has impact. Okay, second to the last slide. This is my ask, okay? All right. I've seen the program, and like I said, super exciting topics and things that we want to talk about. But again, thinking about people is critical, okay? As no matter how beautiful a model is, or like an experiment, or like a tool, the pathway involves people, okay? And if you're not careful, if you don't plan with them, people will spoil your making. I mean, and institutions will even spoil it more. But how does it work? Okay, when you begin a research project, when you begin a research collaboration, you're asking these critical questions around what you're observing. Things will become intelligence. What decisions will change? Who has authority to act? What resources are needed? What happens when the system fails? And how are we going to know if anything actually improved? Building that into your plan is the pathway from intelligence to resilience. And I want to end on an optimistic note because I think that Nigeria has a unique opportunity. Okay, there's a tendency for countries to look at the U.S., China, Europe, and think, you know what, they're ahead. We need to catch up. But what I've seen working in technology adoption for the past 15 years is that being earlier in technology adoption curve is not always an advantage, okay? Sometimes being slightly later gives you the opportunity to avoid mistakes, okay? Many countries digitize first, and now they're trying to sort of retrofit privacy and retrofit security and accountability and email control. And sometimes that could be more expensive, okay? I think Nigeria has the opportunity to sequence some of these very differently, to build the essential security systems before before systems become impossible to build the literacy and fluency before fraud and manipulation destroy trust that could damage systems much more long term. To preserve human judgment, like I said earlier, time before automation becomes the default, and to build pathways between research and institutions before we produce thousands of excellent pilots and programs and trainings that disappear when the funding ends. And I think this is where universities like FUTA have a particularly important role. Not simply just as university as a place that produces technical talent, not just as the place that produces papers and academic publications, but as a place that can connect technical capability, local knowledge, public needs, government institutions, and real-world implementation. And for me, when I look across my career, from working with teachers in Nigeria to building and studying technology at scale that affected billions of people, and I think to think through innovation systems across several places, I've seen that technology really is a problem. Okay, it can become a powerful and extraordinary tool as part of the solution when we understand the system around it. So I'm not asking us to be less ambitious about AI. I'm actually asking us to be more ambitious, okay? Not to stop at the technical solutions, not to stop at the dashboard or the pilots, not to stop at the publication that people getting published at ICAT or at another international conference. All these are good. But to think about what happens next, okay? Because the real test of intelligence is not whether your ChatGPT or whatever it is you're using can produce an answer. It is whether the answer helps you, whether it helps society anticipate, act, continue, recover, and become stronger. That's the real intelligence. Not necessarily generating loads and loads of tests and giving you something like your coursework. It is helping us be better as a whole. And that's the journey from intelligence. I think, like I said, Nigeria has an amazing opportunity not to simply just adopt the next generation intelligence system without necessarily thinking about it, but to really demonstrate what it looks like, to build them into a country without necessarily surrendering security and institutional responsibility or agency along the way. And that's my thank you very much. And I'm happy to take questions.
Please let us applaud Dr. Okweyemi Dele Ajayi. Thank you very much. And with that lecture, we conclude this session. We are to move to the School of Computing for the plenary sessions and then for the lunch break. Thank you.